Anyway, you got something funny from your fucking bedridden algorithm that you wanted to go over? Maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, there's some dumbass streamer um chilling with Accphetamine.
Oh. Oh no.
Let's see what that is all about.
Oh. Oh
There's a
no.
video on why we hate polyamorous people. We can watch other people's content so that we don't have to make our own.
Why we hate polyamorous people.
It's only 40 minutes long, so you'll have to find another video essay to make this stream last.
Jesus, I can't. Where is it? Why do we hate poly people? Oh. There we go. Okay, so when you look up the title of this video on YouTube, right? There's the one there's the one you're talking about, so why we hate polyamorous people, and the one below that was from 4 weeks ago, and it's called I hate poly people in all caps.
Let's watch both simultaneously.
No, I don't want to watch them simultaneously, dog. No way. No.
Dialectics.
How do I? There we go. Oh, okay, I loaded it.
So,
yeah.
Yes, you.
A few months back, I was doom scrolling.
Hello, Gulp Fiction.
And I came across a video of someone
Who made this
sitting
video?
on the kitchen floor crying.
Terra Monkey.
And
Right.
holy moly, to say that the atmosphere
We're currently
would be an
we're streaming
understatement.
stuff.
It was downright
Smile for the audience.
Now, let's put aside the
Smile and wave,
sad
bro.
fishing setup
Smile
of the
and
whole
wave.
thing. I acknowledge that filming oneself crying,
You know how many people have...
posting it online, is something that would be inexplicable.
Oh yeah, he's doing fine. You know how many people are listening to your voice right now?
But the comments
One.
weren't all about that. In fact,
No,
most
two.
of them
Ivan is
were
also here.
something else, saying that
Hey,
they
yo.
had it coming and rejoicing in
PJ, you can click on the last link I sent, and you can watch
Link.
yeah,
At
you
first
can
I was sad.
the last
Then
link I
saw
sent in Wired.
It was appalling.
Oh wait, are you watching Ben 10?
No.
Polyamory L.
That's not what Ben 10.
Clowntown population U. Wow.
Pick a nickname. Can I use a slider?
What a surprise.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Be polyamorous. There's a lot going on here. The internet has gotten too mean. It feels like people have gotten meaner. Anonymity and disconnect emboldens people to say things that they would never have the guts to say in real life. At least I hope. I also can't help but notice that most of the comments seem to be coming from people.
What do you think about my nickname?
Appear to be
Cisgender. What is that again?
It's a slur for people who are not trans. It's banned on Twitter.
Lesbian and WLW
You mean it's banned on
hashtags.
X?
Or perhaps he just doesn't know what a lesbian
Oh, yeah.
is. But
Shit.
the aspect I want to focus on today
The
is
X
the nature
factor.
towards this
Shit,
person
Elon, I'm
being
sorry.
polyamorous. Because it isn't exclusive to the comment
apologize.
section of
Shit,
this
my bad.
video. People really have beef
Me when I
with
shit
poly
bad.
people.
In case if you don't have any empathy for me, Mr. Musk, it is possible that I will become a billionaire later, so it would be a great investment to be nice to me right now. Just saying.
Nuh-uh.
Being nice to me right now is the same as buying bitcoins in 2009. Just saying.
Okay, I'm just gonna fucking ask, who is the we? Who is the proverbial we in the title of this magnificent video that we're about to see?
We
Yeah, like the community of the internet.
Oh, little wee.
No, okay,
No, it's actually
before you look at this video like it's stupid, I want you to know that I think that this video is not stupid.
What exactly is this video even talking about? Just give me some context, girl pop.
I mean,
Like, people are shitting on polyamorous people all the time for no
On
reason. And
polyamorous people. Yeah. That's true.
yeah, and she's like talking about it like, what the freaking frick, guys.
Finally, someone that agrees.
it is you who is stupid.
by a cow. She couldn't be in the video today because she's actually hosting a Galentine's event.
I mean, okay, to be fair,
she didn't invite me.
As a poly person myself,
Cancel her.
Firmly of the belief that most poly people are fucking retarded and should be shut on. Regardless.
You're poly?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but all people are mostly worthy of being disposed of.
True.
It's not about them being polyamorous.
True.
I didn't know you were poly.
Yeah, obviously, I hate monogamy.
He was poly ever since he wasn't poly. Get it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't...
Polyamorous.
Okay, cool, whatever. It's actually not that I hate it, it's just that my brain is wired in such a way that I can't fucking function.
Wired.
Wired.
Like the chat.
Yeah, there you go. Giga chat.
On top of all of today, and even this is
I still need to make myself some lunch.
Is on people's lips,
more like a...
especially of late. And
8 p.m.
What do I make?
Be like lunch.
Why would you make lunch? Sunlight is enough.
But it's
no, I meant dinner.
The practice of non-monogamy exists.
I mean, dinner as well. Like, just like look at the sun.
You know what I had? You know what I had for lunch?
Chufti.
No, I'm having those on Saturday, and that is explicitly why I'm not going home.
North America.
Oh.
Yeah, because Interspar finally decided to put them on the menu.
So
bro would sell their friends for a plate of chufti.
Yeah, that's what I was.
3 months, bro.
That was just what I was about to say, bro. Holy fuck! Instead of hanging out with us and like having a great time, you're selling us out for fucking chufti. Okay, cool.
Well, are you gonna provide me with chufti?
I mean,
didn't think so.
If you asked nicely, I might have.
Each of them will give you a different
dumbass.
Do you even know how to make chufti?
Of course, I'm not an imbecile.
Was my online introduction to it.
I'm polyamorous.
Well, Steve already said that they don't want to make me chufti, so I gave up on that factor.
So if they don't make food for you, no one else can. Okay, cool. Got it. Roger that.
Exactly, because Stevka was the only person to make me food so far.
And being able to maintain that romantic love with more than one person.
Whatever you say,
capacity for love like a glass, and
I believe that multiple people made food for you at some point of your life, and it wasn't just me.
I meant in our friend group.
No, the other ones weren't people. You don't get it.
More than one person. And no,
Didn't Tristan cook at some point in Pula?
In fact, I kind of
I mean, possibly.
when I was in a
I forgot.
I don't know.
I forgot.
The only things that come to mind are palacinke and like the time you cooked in Pula.
Also loving another person. What I've appreciated
Don't speak Slovene, even is gonna get banned.
I'm not, I'm just saying names, bro.
We're on YouTube, it's fine.
Oh, and also don't say his name, he's gonna get doxxed.
Wait, why is it wrong to speak Slovene on Kick?
I already got doxxed. It's fine. Also, we're on YouTube, so don't worry about it.
Terms to avoid any misunderstanding. So let me do so.
I think that you're very safe against doxing right now because no one is gonna stay to watch the stream.
And Amory from the Latin for
you know what? Fuck you.
Stevka, you know how to use Photoshop, right?
Yeah, I do.
How do you get rid of like the entire image but not the layer?
Has multiple wives.
Like every layer but one?
Polygamy is illegal.
No, I mean like when you have something drawn on a layer and you wanna like get rid of it, but you don't wanna get rid of the layer.
Reverse action?
Reverse action. So basically you just undo until you have everything destroyed.
I guess.
Destroyed.
That is so unpractical. Holy shit.
If you draw on the same layer, it's your fault.
No, it's not about drawing on the same layer. It's about like it's about getting rid of everything on that layer without getting rid of the layer itself. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, just use a razor tool.
That is, there should be a button for this. I don't need to use a razor tool for everything.
Make it very big so that you like spend 2 seconds doing that.
Yeah, but then I need to go change it back to like tiny. And I am not using a very advanced tablet right now.
Why is it hard to switch from a razor over to something else.
It takes 5 seconds as opposed to a button it would take 1 second.
It takes less than 5 seconds.
It takes 5 seconds.
We've been talking about this longer than it would have taken.
Bitch, I already deleted the layer and made a new one. I guess that's the most practical way of doing it, I guess. Fuck you, Photoshop, but you have really fucking good brushes.
Like, oh, it's bad, and that's why it's illegal.
True.
Isn't illegal, at least where I live.
As a fellow Photoshop connoisseur, I agree with you.
I could go on for aeons introducing you to
What if I told you that your spirit is indomitable and your heart could reach the top of Everest if you tried hard enough, but then a mild inconvenience was in your way? What would you do?
There's a lot, okay? But if you're polyamorous and you're watching this, you probably know all of this already. And if you're not, and you're watching this, you might be starting to get a little bit lost. I don't think you actually need to know the minutiae. This video isn't running defense for polyamory as a practice. That's actually not the point. I want to explore why a lot of people online and in real life seem to hate
This
polyamorous people.
video isn't actually running defense for anti-fascism. That's not the point. The point is to hate fascism. Ugh.
Because I do
but like
criticizing the behavior of non-monogamous individuals. You know,
like hate for polyamorous people is like coming out of basements while fascism is coming out of government offices.
You seriously think that government offices aren't anti-polyamory?
Yeah, okay, but like they aren't explicitly polyamory phobic. They probably don't know what it is.
Because they hate it. Yeah.
Cannot keep track of all of your partners.
I feel like it's extremely hypocritical of those specific people to be against polyamory.
True. I agree with you. 110% though.
It shows me that you want to be
I don't think
being sarcastic or not.
No.
I think that you like have no idea how internet discourses work and how navigating them works. Like,
who are you referring to?
There are people who
you.
Okay, me, the streamer. I have no idea how internet discourses work. Okay, cool. Sure.
Yeah, it would be weird of me to say that, and that's why I haven't said it so far, because like you're on Twitter all the time,
yeah,
and other platforms, I guess.
Well, do you see how stupid that sounds now? Like you just.
Yeah, and it's even more stupider than I'm. It's even more stupider than I'm right.
No, really, no. You're always wrong, quite literally. When it comes to
like every time when you see a video essay that talks about something that is not like a nuanced academic topic, you're like, oh my god, why is their approach like this? Well, there is a very simple explanation why it is like this.
People are stupid, yeah. I know.
Well-known fact you don't see many.
Sorry, I apologize for not being well versed in dumbassery.
Well,
yeah.
You live in dumbassery.
Yeah, I should definitely get sanctioned for this or something.
Incredibly attractive people in polycules.
Yeah, you should.
I don't hate polyamory as a concept, just hate when ugly people do it.
Why do people in open relationships always look like that? I'm being very non-specific here, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. I have a working theory on this, okay? And it's kind of mean. It's not my idea. Don't shoot the messenger here. I saw some meme once upon a time that was like, somebody will have an open relationship just so they can date 3 threes and say they're in a relationship with a 9. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's how the scale, which is not
Jesus fucking Christ,
nonsense, really works. You know, it's like a cumulative thing. Guys, I just don't know how this shit's happening. It's like the most confusing thing in the world to me. You've never, not never, rarely seen like an 8, 9, 10 in an open relationship. That's all I'm saying. Why do people in open relationships always look like that? I'm being very non-specific here.
No, because what do you mean by that?
Voldemort number 2 was also a polyamory hater.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Welcome, it's a freak show, and you get a freak, and you get a freak. To call this discourse would be generous, and bear in mind I regularly use the word
See, Accphetamine? See?
Accphetamine.
as a pejorative.
That discourse,
Because I am a relentless mocker. As I'm sure you suspected, I was cool and popular in school.
Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again.
I was one of those popular kids who had for normal human behaviour, like drinking out of a water bottle or reading. Kids are mean.
See, Stefka didn't laugh at that because they're stupid.
Adults engage in mocking. In case you're employed, there's been discourse for a while now about how polyamorous
I'm gonna
folks
touch
look
him.
a certain way. They have
Whoa,
a
critical.
look. You know, the look.
Like that. I'm being very non-specific here, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
They look like that.
This TikTok about poly people and the aftermath of it, I think, is a really good case study in how there's such an appetite to dunk on polyamorous people, especially online. He posted the first one, got responses, and then as
Also,
I showed you,
I've got a weird ass comment to make. Like, I hate it so much when people use the word discourse as synonymous with discussions.
Isn't it not?
No, that's the whole point. No.
Oh my god, PJ, why do you not know the difference? Oh my god, log off right now.
No. To not know the difference is fine, but to have the, to utter the word discourse with such bravado while being dead wrong on what it actually means, as this person here and countless others that I've seen, is like, bro, like, the fuck, log off.
some where he made a
Of
compilation
iPhone versus Android.
All of them were gender non-conforming, plus size, and alternative looking. He even included someone who isn't even polyamorous, just non-binary, so they made the cut. You know, he likes to claim that this is all a joke, but if you look at the comments he's liked comments implying that polyamorous people are weak, and obviously has an issue with it. Now, we could debate about how much responsibility he bears in all this. I think some irresponsible platforming has occurred. There were people who got harassed as a result of this.
People in open relationships always look like that. I'm being...
No, because what do you mean by that? Honestly, what do you mean by that? Now,
He was liking unkind comments about the people in the video, even though it was just a joke. You know, people commenting saying, oh, where's their profile? I want to find them. The person who got most targeted even made a follow-up video, and he commented saying, oh, sorry, it's just jokes. And they sort of responded saying, you know, and they were saying, I get that, but like the result of it has been harmful, and, you know, autistic and non-binary people have been targeted. And I'm sure him and the people who have enjoyed this will say, you know, it's not that deep. But I think this really demonstrates the contempt people have for polyamorous people, especially because the most vocal people online are queer-coded. A lot of queer people practice polyamory. Non-binary people, neurodivergent people. He can claim all he likes that this is just a joke, and, you know, the people who have been upset by this and have received harassment as a result need to just laugh it off. And even if you could give some charitability to the first video where you're like, oh, it's just a joke that's probably a bit too mean for your taste, I think this next video just completely lays bare what he thinks about the people he's joking about.
I made a lot of people in open relationships mad yesterday, didn't I? A lot of polyamorous people, a lot of non-binary folks, kind of getting equally offended. But there's an interesting piece to that. So some of these people didn't give a shit. Some of them were laughing about it. A lot of them were DMing me and laughing about it.
I was put on this earth to get in your face and scream uncontrollably.
Well, why? Why would they laugh at themselves? Because they don't identify or think that they are part of the group
That's cool.
that look like that. They're the ones that aren't getting offended by this because they hear the joke and they go, ha, that's funny, that's not me. And a lot of them it's not, because here's the really important part to it. The ones who don't look like that, the ones who look normal, so to speak, they don't advertise this stuff. Why don't they advertise it though?
Yeah, the
Because
people
everyone
that
in
didn't
them
take
if you
my
advertise that you are open,
quote-unquote
poly,
joke as an
non-monogamous,
offense are
whatever,
actually
then
normal
people who look
guys.
like that
Be more like
start
them.
being incessant.
Well, I'm normal, so
It's fine as long as if you don't look like that. Whereas if you do actually look like that, then it's fair game. Gotcha. And listen, you know me, I like jokes. I like a goof. I
fucking
like a
hate the word
so
gotcha.
If you've been around
Fuck
since the
that.
days where I look like
Yeah.
Gotcha games.
I agree.
When I first heard that joke,
No,
I
gotcha
thought
is
it was
fine,
like
gotcha
a
isn't.
Gotcha
Gotcha
is
games.
the most awful word
Because,
in the English
septum
language.
piercings.
Sir, will you
Honestly.
please stop
Gotcha
staring at me? Where's
games.
the rest of
Gotcha
You
is
can have a-
actually
we can have a jolly about that.
Japanese.
If you can chuckle and move on without forming contempt
Gotcha.
for polyamorous
Jesus
people
Christ.
in the world, great. But people are taking this too far. There's lighthearted jokes.
I
and
mean,
then
it
there's, how is
originated
every
in
pony person
Japan,
ugly?
so
Every pony person I see
fair
on TikTok
game,
looks
bro.
like they smell like the water left in the
Gotcha.
pot after you boil hot dogs. The
Genocide originated in Croatia.
funniest part about media
There you
portraying
go.
polyamory is they always try to
I
use
said it.
You cannot spell genocide without Croatia.
Beast of size from Portland, polyamory is almost exclusively practiced by.
What I'm about to say might seem pretty obvious, but it's
As Jordan Peterson would say,
Stop doing genocide, it's that
Yeah.
easy.
as Jordan Peterson would say, you cannot spell genocide without Gino.
it's just old-fashioned.
Jordan Peterson
Oh,
once
God.
said,
I realise that I probably am just.
Jordan Peterson once said,
You know,
remember Holomdor?
Strangers come up to me online.
Like, did
and
your
say
voice
about the
crack?
stink of poo-poo and
Is his voice cracked?
steaming horse piss and more
Because he's
poo-poo
cracked.
with some hot dogs. That's actually really
he's a
funny. Anyone would
cracker.
find that really funny.
No,
There's
don't
something
say
so
that on
incredibly
YouTube.
normy about hating on someone for being ugly. It's basic.
White people can be oppressed, it's okay.
invented vaccines, the iPhone, we've stepped on the moon.
No, it's cracker like the cookie, you know.
Don't worry, bro. You just need to show off some titties and you'll be fine from any criticism.
I just want to majorly stress the air
When I make this into
No,
a
but
video,
like there are cookies. There are cookies that are called that.
When I make this into a video, that shit is getting demonetized right away.
Will always bring out the absolute scum of the earth. People who are 100% trash will drag.
Yeah, okay, but like, what if you just like make a video about like cookies that are called that? Like, do you get demonetized as well? Yeah, because there are cookies that are called crackers. How do you talk about that?
Actually, they are called biscuits.
Yes.
No, they don't. They're not.
If I were to say, you don't hate polyamorous people, you just hate...
Oi, crack. Oi.
Yeah, that's me when I talk to my friend who is a cookie. Cutie pie.
Osama bin
Imagine
cookie.
Imagine websites didn't offer cookies, but they offered crackers, and you would have to accept crackers.
What if they offer biscuits?
They offer biscuits, cracker biscuits.
Oi. Okay. Jesus. Wait, there's. Can I add this? Can I add something to the playlist as well?
Yeah.
No. Add your mom twerking.
Plus playlist or something like that. Yeah. Okay, it's here. 2028. All right, I remember. I want to show you something. Speaking of biscuits.
Whoa. I don't see any changes in the queue.
I think this is the one.
What?
Cannot
it's
be
age
played directly
restricted.
for one of the following reasons. Age restricted. Okay.
Damn.
Hold on. This one isn't. And it's the same thing. Okay.
Who cares?
Anyway, speaking of biscuits.
To Detroit, this is the BET Shady 2.0 Cypher 2011. Myself.
What if Eminem was British?
Listen.
White dog. Thank you, Cracker. Get him.
Thank you, my cracker.
Myself, Slaughterhouse, and Yellow Wolf. White dog. Thank you, Cracker. Get him.
Business boy, you should calm down.
Okay, like, the point of reclaiming slurs is that you're proud of them. And you're proud of what they signify.
Is it? I don't think that's the point, but okay.
No, I mean, like, they reclaim it like the N-word is reclaimed, right? And they're like, I'm proud to be black, and I'm now gonna take over this word and like be the one in control.
Yeah, it's like removing yourself from your oppressors. Essentially.
Yeah. And then they do this to Cracker, so that they can show that they're proud
stop saying it, Jesus Christ.
Okay, biscuit. And so now they're showing off that they're proud of what biscuit signifies as a word.
Yeah.
Like its etymology. Great.
Hey, limp cracker.
Stop saying it. Stop saying it. Says it like 10 seconds later.
No. That's the. I can't say it. You're 1/10 Asian. Fuck off.
1/8.
Yeah. Okay. I don't give a shit. You don't got the pass.
You're literally as Jewish as I am Asian. So. Just saying.
Well, yeah. I'm a dirty white Jew. Okay. I'm a cracker dyke, okay?
You need to be cleansed of your whiteness.
Yeah.
you need to give all your money to someone because you have too much money now. Like me.
Don't say this on stream. No one's gonna donate. Bars.
Yeah.
No, we're not. No.
Thanks.
So I was doom scrolling on Instagram.
Fuck off.
Wouldn't recommend.
2028. No.
It's something like that.
No, it's
there were no major
2028.
differences between groups when it came to ethnicity, except that respondents in poly relationships were significantly help but
Like this.
notice that the poly people who are being called
There we go.
ugly are visibly queer.
A lot of non-binary folks kind of getting equally offended.
There is no right or wrong way to look gay, but there are signals you can send to send the gays your way.
Now, with that in mind, I think when people are mocking poly people for having that look, it isn't simply a personal disdain for ugliness. It's a political position. Video essayist core. Because looking like that represents a political position that you don't agree with. A way of life that you don't agree with. A definition of conservatism. Commitment to traditional values and ideas with opposition to change or innovation. That goes hard. 8 or 9 years ago, when a fella saw someone online with blue hair and a septum piercing, they would call them an SJW, social justice warrior. This isn't that different. Being polyamorous doesn't necessitate being liberal or left-wing, but there is a trend, there's a correlation. For some queer polyamorous folks, their queerness and their polyamory are intertwined. So in 2018, social psychologist Dr. Rhonda Balzarini carried out a study along with her colleagues at the University of Western Ontario, studying the demographic backgrounds of 2,428 polyamorous individuals and 539 monogamous ones by asking participants to take an online survey. Her team found that polyamorous people tend to identify more as bisexual/pansexual, are more likely to report being divorced, and make less money yearly than monogamous couples. Only slightly more people who were in poly relationships reported having a bachelor's degree or higher and identified as Democrats.
They tend to make less money because they're too busy fucking.
Polyamorous folks often chose other, writing in anarchist, progressive, democratic socialist, and none. There were no major differences between groups when it came to ethnicity.
Imagine you have to get action like 4 times every day. No wonder.
It isn't a shock that conservatives are less likely to outwardly identify as polyamorous. They may, do some non-monogamy, they may swing in secret, but embracing polyamorous as a label is a different thing. Oh, as a side note, I had to share this because it was so interesting. In my research, I found that there is a peculiar exception to this general rule. Loving More is a non-profit founded in 1984 with the purpose of advocating for polyamorous people. Its purpose is described as follows: to educate people about and support polyamory as a valid choice in loving relationships and family lifestyle. It was founded by a woman called Ryan Nearing and her 2 husbands. Historian Christopher M. Gleason states in American Poly, a book on the history of polyamory in North America, Nearing was uniquely suited to fight for ethical non-monogamy with the cultural climate of the Reagan era. He states that Nearing was pro-family, pro-fidelity, and fiscal conservative. Joined by Deborah Anapol, a polyamorous clinical psychologist, Nearing presented a form of non-monogamy that did not chive conservative reverence for family values. Non-monogamy could be the loyal spouse's helpmeet, they argued, a release valve that might keep a frustrated wife or husband from blowing the roof off the entire institution. Fascinating. Putting that aside, generally, at least in North America, polyamory was and is countercultural. 3 years ago now,
I got my Tina. I got my mac and cheese.
That all people want to be
Hell
in a
yeah.
romantic relationship.
Typical cracker behavior.
Also,
it's really helpful in understanding
speaking of crack,
but also in part polyamory. Because unheteronormativity is a prescribed idea a person should find.
One of my friends from college came up to me today and was like, "Yo, you asked for this," and he gave me like a bunch of wheat cookies. So I'm gonna get heightened.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Make sure you eat something that looks like too little, and yeah.
What do you mean too little?
Don't go overboard.
Eat less than you think. Yeah, eat less than you would think is just average, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, what you
I'm
think is
honestly
average,
really
cut it in
tempted
half.
to eat it.
Half might be too much. There's some cookies that are so potent that half is too much.
No, that's what
I mean,
I'm saying.
they look very tiny.
Don't speak all at once. I don't understand either of you.
They look very tiny to me.
Well, what I was saying is that whatever you think is the proper dosage, cut it in half and do half of that.
Okay. Well, I was thinking the entire cookie, so I'll just cut it in half.
Don't do the entire cookie at once. What are you, stupid? No.
Eat a quarter.
Quarter.
Okay. Well, I'm really tempted to eat one right now, honestly.
You know what people from Brooklyn would say?
But like, hello, I'm from Brooklyn.
No.
Like, eat a fourth of it, basically, and
Alright,
yeah.
we'll cut it up then.
You know what they call a quarter pounder in France? A royale with cheese.
Whoa. Yeah, what the fuck? Did he charged with necromancy?
For real?
No.
Where? Oh, I was gonna.
No, he was charged with necrophilia apparently.
What?
And people don't know the difference between necrophilia and necromancy, and they just say necromancy because they're stupid.
Did he charges?
That's something that I just saw on Twitter, so it's probably like not true.
Anyway, back to polyamory.
AKA monogamy.
Fuck polyamory.
Monogamy is the default. There is also the concept of the relationship
What did you just say?
escalator, the default set of societal expectations for intimate relationships, i.e. the goal at the top of the escalator is to achieve a permanently monogamous, sexually and romantically exclusive between two people, cohabiting marriage, legally sanctioned
marriage.
In many cases, buying a house and having kids is also part of the goal. Partners are expected to remain together at the top of the escalator until death. Polyamory challenges this.
Okay.
The are we exclusive chat happens quite differently. You may live with and co-parent with more people. Your goal might not be with a certain partner forever. This is countercultural.
Chappelle Rowan is going through the same phases as David Bowie.
Some people the wrong way. Here's where it gets extra messy.
What face is that?
I'm gonna send a picture.
Polyamory
Wait.
does not necessitate queerness, but some
Did Broski get really outlandish hair?
Wait, let me finish. I'm not saying that if you're monogamous and LGBT that you're
just
some
look at Wired.
heteronormative sellout.
Is that for real the
There's
first
straight people who
association you
practice
get when you
polyamory.
think
In
of
fact,
David
some
Bowie?
aggressively straight
The
people
hair.
practice it. If
So
someone
it
who
is the hair.
says that they're queer simply because of polyamory, yeah, I can see why that rubs people the wrong way. You know what? Here's someone who made.
Wait, which is the before and which is the after?
A lot of the times, I feel like people justify ostracizing marginalized demographics just because they can. I think people don't.
The top one is before, probably.
Even though they are.
Oh, so you didn't make this? This was
No, I
just
didn't.
filmed this. Okay.
Yeah, I found it. I don't follow on Chappelle Rowan lore.
Nah, I mean, you look like you
one
would.
of her songs, but that's about it.
What the fuck did it just say to me, bitch?
Yeah, you look like you would like
Is it
Chappelle
so
Rowan.
bad? What's so bad about that?
Is she basic?
No, she's pretty.
Bro's in love with Grimes and then has the nerve to talk about basic music.
Or Norway, I feel like aromantic.
Fucking hell.
I'm so enraged. No, stop. I am so enraged by the way that you just like you just man. You look at Grimes and you're like, yeah, this is basic. How dare you, man?
Yeah, because
she's literally
basic.
like so.
She's
literally so cyberpunk.
No,
Grimes is not like the other girls, I swear.
No, not even that. Like her personally, I feel like she's very personable, right? So I would watch her the fuck out of her interviews, right? But Jesus fucking Christ, like think of the worst person you know. They are probably a massive Grimes fan. So
absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And more often than not, given that
yeah, okay, but it's not about being basic.
It is. It is because like the worst person you would think of, given that you are not basic, or at least that's how I read your existence as non-basic, the person you would hate the most in the world would be basic. And if they fit that criteria, then the music they like is also very basic.
Basic people are not worth of my hate. I just either ignore them or treat them like obstacles. In order to hate a person, I have to view them as a person.
I could crack so many holes in that argument if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. So, you know.
You don't want to have a discussion? No, discourse.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. That was perfectly timed, bro. Wonderful. I
Why,
love
why
you.
would you not crack holes? Why would you not crack holes in my in me bed slip?
Why would you not crack?
I mean, I would crack, most certainly, yeah. But
But what would that make you?
Stop! Jesus Christ. Would the word basic, by the way, in this context, be considered a slur? Maybe, probably. What do you mean?
I mean, people don't get oppressed for being basic.
Sadly.
It's like calling someone lame.
Did you know monkey is a slur?
Yeah.
For who?
Americans, apparently.
No.
Oh, for real? Wow.
I mean,
that's what Google said. That's what Wikipedia says.
It's a slur for some people in America, like 13% of them, but not all of them.
Monkey
Oh,
slur.
Voldemort too said that it's for all Americans.
List
I mean,
of
maybe it is in Argentina.
List of ethnic slurs from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia.
I'm gonna translate monkey into Spanish and just like spam it.
Right.
And you will get banned. And you won't even know why.
Abo. Oh, it's Australian Aboriginal person.
Mona. 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 Mona.
What?
Mona.
Alpine Serb.
No, it's not even translated monkey. It's simply just monkey in English.
Oh.
Okay, do you mind just look at my stream for a second?
Wait.
On YouTube, I mean.
Yeah, I know. Looking right now.
Okay.
Alpine Serb. People of Slovenian origin. Nice.
Bro.
Alpski Sorbin.
Ape. Black people. What? Dog.
Good one.
Apple.
Oh, fellas, this
Native
was some
American.
of the best mac and cheese I have ever had. Now it's time for the crack.
Uh-huh. Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi.
What? Is
Why
that
are
for
they
Zionist?
Yeah.
Why are they like so tightly like packaged?
Who?
What do you mean?
What?
Like the wheat cookies. They're so tightly packaged.
Why? Do you want them to breathe?
Is that a bad thing?
I mean, who gives a shit? They're cookies. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's more practical to pack it, like as much as you can in as little space as possible, I guess.
Why?
Because those are not legal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Shit.
good luck.
That means I will have to package it back up again until tomorrow.
Unless your flat gets raided by cops, you don't have to.
Fucking look at this. Bounty bar is a slur of United Kingdom origin for black people, and it means a black person who is considered to be behaving like a white person, i.e. dark on the outside, white on the inside. What? What?
I was gonna say before you started speaking, it is safer to eat it in my apartment than where we are gonna originally eat it. We're gonna eat it in their dorms, bro.
No, it's definitely safer to do it in a crowded dorm filled with people and security, possibly. Like Buddha.
Today I ate a bounty bar.
Buddha head. Place of origin, United States.
Bar.
Also used by mainland Japanese Americans to refer to Hawaiian Japanese Americans since World War II.
Hawaiian, more like
Americans.
Hawaiian.
Yeah, Buddha head.
Great.
Buddha head. Can we continue watching the video?
Yeah. I got
Stop
carried.
saying slurs.
I got carried away by reading
Bulbash.
the list of slurs. I'm sorry.
I thought you were out of your slur phase,
No,
bro.
Bulbash. I've never heard Bulbash.
No, I am out of my slur phase in terms of saying them deliberately, but I'm still very fond of them as a concept, right? So,
Ooh, what if we go through Russian slurs, and I'm gonna say if I know them or not?
Didn't
Sure.
you tell me all of your slurs like last time?
All the ones that I used all the time, but like I probably don't know all of them because I'm not
God.
insane.
Russian slurs, the Frozen Orchestra. Oh, that's an album. No. There's an album called Russian Slurs.
Right.
Russian Hidden Racism Vocabulary. Case study. Wait a minute.
Okay, I'm gonna take them tomorrow. I'm too lazy to pack them up again. I'll text you my results of my evaluation.
Best.
The next web. Hidden racial slurs. Fuck. Hidden racial slurs are flooding across Russian media. AI study reveals.
What?
Can
we stop talking about slurs, please?
A Ukrainian startup has discovered.
Because they're not interesting.
It is interesting to me.
Slurs? How are slurs interesting to you, bro?
Because it's culture, man.
Yeah, it reveals a lot about the nature of language and what we do with it.
If
Show
you
you the
scroll a
nature
little
of
bit,
my cock.
if you scroll a little bit slower, I'm gonna be able to read it.
A glut of racial slurs hidden in slang has emerged in Russian digital media. The insults were discovered by Osavul, a Ukrainian startup that uses AI to analyze information threats. Osavul tapped language models to conduct a cross-platform survey of racial discourse in Russia. The system scanned over 5,000 sources across news sites and social media platforms, from US giants Facebook and X to Russian kingpins Telegram and VK. The system highlighted the rise of various epithets for neighboring countries, immigrants, and national minorities. Even Kremlin officials were spotted using the slurs.
Okay.
Spotted? Okay.
Yeah. Also,
I mean, a slur is not a concept in Russia. Like, there is no word for it.
Uh-huh. Sure. I wonder why. Also, Wolf said the vocabulary deliberately conceals the racial and ethnic undertones from foreign eyes. Quote, Russian slang helps to hide the negative attitude towards national minorities and immigrants inside Russia.
Are we going to fucking get to the words themselves, or we have to read this? Like, what is this? What is this paper?
Why are you? I was gonna suggest even earlier before we started streaming that you get yourself checked for some manner of like hardcore ADHD. You should really
No, it's just that like the language that is used in this is like so painfully boring. Like it's not about me having ADHD.
A lot of stuff are boring to you that inherently just are information. And if
You're making me relive my high school classes, bro.
If you find information boring, you might, suffer from ADHD.
I was just.
No, it's just the way it's written. It's so boring.
I was just reading Valencia's text and I was enjoying it. Like before I entered the voice chat.
That's not the same.
How is it not the same?
It's not the same because Valencia knows how to write.
No, it's not the same because what you're reading are narratives. This isn't a narrative. And you can't.
No, I mean,
you can't focus on non-narrative stuff.
What about Wikipedia pages?
I've never seen you read those, and every time I start reading one, you say it's boring and shit on it. So
When though?
All the time, constantly.
No.
Unless it's a table, which is why I'm saying you might have ADHD. Go check for ADHD.
Why is thinking certain explanations are boring ADHD core?
It's not ADHD core, it's just signs of ADHD.
How is it signs of ADHD? What is the sign?
The fact that information isn't organized in the way that you would like it to be organized, and it's causing you to not focus.
Okay, what I want to say? Yeah, I took a deep dive into Falun Gong yesterday, and I was reading Wikipedia for like 1 hour straight. What about that? Huh?
Yeah, no, that doesn't support your argument at all.
Everything that I say just proves your point, and everything that you say is like a take, and everything that I say is not.
Which piece of writing by our distinguished colleague Max Valencic did you read? What did you read?
Max Valencic.
What
the one read? About the one in Rasputia about like how math build codes are like prevailing over humanity's build codes in philosophy. Let me see what it's called again.
Max Valencic Archives.
It wasn't
the bunker.
It was about the fucking.
Was it the last one?
No, codes. The one that has like a pink thumbnail.
Oh, computational science.
I think, yeah.
Okay,
this one, yeah.
I translated it into English by Google Translate. Thinking mostly begins and explains itself with thinking.
I was reading it in Slovene.
While media science or computational science begins with technology and a distinctive logos, or better, technologies. In this way, we can understand why philosophy has always been, and was, the dominant way of encoding and synthesizing abstractions, why it has had primacy over recording, and explaining global transformations in thinking through its own concepts, even though we know that everything is co-evolutionary and that, for example, changes in ontology and metaphysics correlate with changes in mathematics, and that, for example, the philosophy of Leibniz and Spinoza directly coincide with the invention of differential calculus. Insane. Great take. What I mean is that the place of abstraction and the way of explaining it are partially arbitrarily chosen, since the influence of abstraction is reflected at all social levels and fields of research, and philosophy as only one of the languages may not be the best and most optimal way to continue and operationalize this trend, this kind of emerging pattern. At least, this is the claim that we will try to support below. Insane. These paragraphs are insane. He's insane.
They're boring.
You should get yourself checked for stupid.
Okay, no, I'm gonna change my take. I think that I just.
No, don't walk it back. You can't walk it back. Fuck that.
No. That actually is gonna undermine my previous take.
Okay.
I cannot listen to text being read without exploding, but I can read just fine. There we go.
What about me reading your stuff?
Yeah, I continue listening because I'm excited about the feedback, but the process of listening itself is also explosion worthy.
Also,
sorry.
As soon as ego overtakes, you don't mind it as much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. Wonderful. Wonderful. You're a great person. You should continue what you're doing. Yeah, definitely.
I know.
That's no argument here.
Oh my god, look, you have a dislike on your stream.
You can't see it. You can't see it. It's the new update.
You know you have extensions for that, right?
Yeah, but I don't use them, so fuck off.
But it shows the proportion between likes and dislikes below it still.
Okay.
It just hurts Your fragile ego.
Fuck you mean fragile ego? I'm literally the only person on Twitter that admitted being wrong multiple times.
Why not have an extension for dislikes then?
Yeah, because I don't give a shit about looking at other people's dislikes either, so...
Okay.
No.
He admitted that he was wrong on Twitter, but where's that account now, huh?
No, it's still there. I decided to put it up. I decided to keep it up there for archival purposes.
Yeah, you kept it up there, but no one is looking at it right now because you're not posting on it. Yeah, clever.
What am I supposed to do? Like, after every tweet, I'm supposed to reply to that tweet being like, "Oh, by the way, might have contradicted myself on my previous profile. Please go check it out."
Yeah, it's called taking accountability, bozo.
Cool. Sure. Whatever you say.
Can we continue the video now, please?
Yeah, sure.
And what if we never continue and PJ just dies? What if we do that?
I'm gonna be very sad.
And after that, we're gonna diss our guy Max. Anyway,
all right.
There we go.
But fit into a specific demographic, we're kind of othered. And I think polyamorous people are similar. At the same time, we are still marginalized because we go against the grain of like what's expected in society, and we're treated differently because of it. You know what I mean? And a lot of times there's overlap in these ostracized, marginalized groups with neurodivergency, queerness.
What's it? Okay, can someone like decode my white supremacy for me, or like privilege, or whatever the fuck that is?
I thought you weren't white.
I'm not white, but I might display white supremacy because I was brought up white. Right.
You're that slur where black people are black on the outside and white on the inside.
Yeah, I'm the candy bar. Right.
Bro is a white milk chocolate, white on the outside and white on the inside.
Insideness.
Bro is the bubble chocolate.
White insideness.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was I about to say? Yeah. Every time I hear like a queer-coded person say, "Oh my God, I'm so underprivileged and everyone hates me," I just want to punch them. Why? Why is that?
Huh? So you're basically shaming queer people for being upset that they're oppressed?
No. I'm not shaming them for that because I realize like that they are in fact oppressed, right? But them voicing that is what irks the fuck out of me for some reason.
How dare they express their emotions?
Not even that. I wouldn't.
No, it irks you because
might be
because you exist in this environment. You exist in that environment. Is my microphone off?
No, it's not.
Okay, great.
Why?
You live in that environment,
and to you or what?
My fucking God.
I'm sorry.
Can I say a sentence?
Yeah, sure.
Do I have your permission?
Yes, you do. Shoot.
Thank you. Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm sorry. I love you. Right?
People like this. I would say that the queer movement, is newer and younger as a movement.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to like Black Liberation Movement and others.
Okay.
Like it also existed for a while, and like there was a presentation and all that, but like it wasn't properly organized, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the militant behaviors that was expressed, for example, when Black Panthers were a thing,
mm-hmm.
those are like most prevalent right now when it comes to queer rights and feminism. And those can be frustrating to like both sides because they just tend to go in all directions.
Sure, but I feel like the exact opposite is true of what you just said. I don't know. It's almost like the legacy of the Black Panthers and like the actual like quote unquote direct action that they espoused and practiced and like put into motion, like as a movement. You know what I mean? Like a random TikTok creator isn't the same as Malcolm X. Historically, right? and those can't.
I mean, yeah, but also like the temporal contexts are different.
True. Yeah.
And also like when it comes to like not like most violence itself, but most motivational factors.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like systemic violence in black communities, like it's mostly motivated by class and not the identity that much, even though it's like still very much present and it's like present in the framework. Like if the class factor was removed, most of that violence would be gone.
Mm-hmm.
While queer violence is linked to queer identity when it comes to both ways, like and both to and from, you know.
True. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I was just thinking, like, just personally, like, what the fuck? Why do I feel repulsed by this kind of rhetoric? Even though I realize and I acknowledge the oppression underneath all that, right?
You feel repulsed because you're opposed to violence in general, and there is a possibility of this violence being directed towards you.
Oh, okay, cool. Good to know.
I mean, no, that's like based off what you're saying usually.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not that I'm opposed to violence. It's just that I'm such a fan of violence that when I see people get discursively violent, it's not, and I see it as not being as effective as like actual direct action or whatever. That's what's irking me, right? It's just like, Jesus Christ.
Your opinion of violence changes every 3 days.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
I remember you saying that you're against violence with every bone and cell of your body.
Do you have a log for that, or a clip of some kind, or any kind
you need proof,
or any kind of proof? Yeah, or are you just speaking out of your ass? Huh?
I'm gonna give you a sandwich with the proof.
Knuckle sandwich balls.
Exactly.
Okay, anyway, let's move on. Jesus
Christ. Disability, etc. And a lot of you guys use this othering as a way to justify your ableism, fat phobia, queer phobia, what have you.
Can't wait for this person to watch this once I upload this VOD to YouTube.
So I want to hop on here because I'm seeing a lot of different people come on here and be like, hey, this is fucked up. And then people are like, well, of course you'd say that. You look exactly like the stereotype of polyamorous people. But I don't. And I'm still polyamorous. And I implore you to really sit with yourself and...
How do you know what the stereotype is if you're poly yourself? What the fuck?
Invoke why you feel the need to laugh amongst others and why
the polyamorous people live in a different planet.
Complex and put others in an inferior complex, especially when it doesn't harm themselves or others. You know what I mean? Like, how does someone else's decision, lifestyle...
The stereotypes also change over time, right? And it's usually like a lot of... There are new stereotypes being invented, and those stereotypes are like tied to groups that have been around for a long time. So how would you be up to date?
I could imagine if they're being shat on every single day, she could have first-hand experience.
Sure.
And also they have access to the internet, and I'm assuming that they
research is a thing.
That's
they
also
see the mainstream.
Fact. That's also facts. Yeah, all of it is true, right? But like, I'm Jesus. Like, I'm polyamorous myself, and I'm not as confident in that statement.
Yeah, but
not
like
everyone is like you, buddy.
No.
You most of your internet presence is on Twitter, and Twitter like it has its own memes and discourses, I think, unlike other platforms.
Do you mean discussions or do you mean discourses? Let's just clear that one first.
It's the same thing, obviously.
No, like that's video from TikTok, right? And like TikTok like makes the trends right now at this point. And like they also spread the fastest, and then they like slowly creep into Instagram. So like I believe that if you have TikTok, like everything that is vaguely related to you, you're gonna see that. If like something that is connected to you becomes mainstream, you're gonna see that.
True.
Because there's just like so much shit that you see all the time.
But I mean, obviously, y'all were much more on TikTok than I was. Is it really that different than what I'm consuming on a daily basis if I limit myself to, say, Twitter?
What you're consuming on a daily basis is like, it has a structure to it. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, on TikTok, like, there's a structure, like, I don't know. If there is structure, it's like harder to follow, unless it's like a direct conversation made up of videos and like comment sections. Like, you don't have threads on Twitter, on TikTok.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is that it's much more random than
I mean, it's not random. There's just like more of it, you know.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you follow one topic on TikTok for 30 minutes, you're gonna hear out 20 plus people. Mm-hmm. If you do it on Twitter, you're gonna hear out like 10.
Sure. Yeah. No,
like in the same 30 minutes.
I get that. Yeah, agree.
Style and love multiple people affect you, and why does it bother you enough to bully them genuinely?
So not all polyamorous folks are queer. There are some hetero poly people, okay? I would say personally that polyamory is not a sexual orientation but a relationship orientation. But there is a reason that LGBT people historically have been more open to non-monogamy, or at least reported to be. Important historical context, because being gay was illegal in the US, gay people practice non-monogamy, at least in part due to not being free to legally embrace their partners and openly. That is a point that I need to acknowledge. However, there is something to be said about how people who are already challenging the societal norm in who they date and how they look may be more likely to challenge the societal norm of how they date, i.e. how many people. Queerness, in many ways, is about loving outside of the norm, and polyamory can run in parallel to that definition. Queerness and the ability to explore what type of relationships you want to have in the world, those two go hand in hand. You're exploring who you are in the universe, but you're also exploring how you relate to other beings in this universe. So it's no surprise that the conservative opposition to polyamory and or consensual non-monogamy is closely related to their aversion to queerness and deviant romantic and sexual behaviour. Whether a poly person is queer or not, I think conservatives who look at it and go, ew, see it as the same thing. Also, I can't help but notice that the negative things people say about poly people mirror the things that people say about bisexuals.
Really? Choose one.
True.
Oh no though, because too much bisexual pride leads to this. Verity Ritchie has a PhD in bisexual law, and in her video, Why We Hate Bi Women, despite the title of this video, there's also an equivalent on bisexual men. In fact, the video is even more relevant than I remembered, because there's a whole chapter on non-monogamy and how it's associated with bisexuality. So yeah, just to be clear, what I'm about to say is massively like summarizing and condensing and narrowing in on just one aspect of the whole video. She argues that people's aversion to bisexual women comes from the association with sex, sexual promiscuity. When a woman says she's bisexual, there's an instant association with multiple sexual partners, men and women. They become hypersexualized. I believe the same association happens when someone says that they are polyamorous, not just non-monogamous, because people forget that it isn't just about sex. Polyamory. To be clear, having lots of consensual sex is fine, but you know, society, shrug. I think you also find this among people who are hypersexualized in society. If your sexuality is seen as too sexual, then you might find that you're more free to challenge some of the sex-negative concepts the society hypersexualizing you throws back at you. If you're already on the margins and derided by society when you're harming no one, it gives you a better way of looking at other practices which aren't harming anyone. Hence, the aversion to people who look like that. Looking like that signals a way of life that you disagree with. It threatens them, because having to question your life path requires thought, energy, and decision-making. That's
why do you put the b-roll of a dog randomly? Why?
Just fuck them, dog.
Why?
Like, conservatism isn't just a personal opposition to a different way of life, but political. Someone else living their life differently doesn't just challenge me personally, but the fabric of society that is safe and familiar.
Society.
You can say that this is due to fear or envy. You know, they're secretly jealous. They would want to try this. That might be the case for some people, but I don't think that's the case as often. It plays into this trope that bigotry comes from envy, like, you know, the classic...
Have you ever noticed that there's like a lot of people in New Zealand?
If you ask me, the truth is that some people are just bigoted. Well, there are reasons for it, but not being gay, for example. There's the just world fallacy, which is a cognitive bias that assumes that people get what they deserve, and essentially that the universe is fair. I think this ties in here. Homophobia won't be solved by simply helping people embrace themselves.
No, wait, hold on. Mm-hmm. I just googled how many people live in there, and like there's a giant proportion of famous-ish creators from New Zealand, or like people from New Zealand, whatever, and like the amount of people that live in there, like they have as many people as like Norway, 5 million, And like, how many Norwegians do you know, and how many New Zealanders do you know?
Yeah, I get that, like 100 to 1 type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what is it with New Zealand? It's got like two borders and one conjoined land mass, something like that.
No, I think there's just like an island and that's it. No?
No, true. But the island is like, it has its own borders and shit like that. I don't think it's just all New Zealand. It has like, but there's not a lot of them. There's like two things on that island. I think. Like,
you mean the reservations?
I guess I'm hesitant to call it a. I don't want to call it a state because I don't think it's that, but some manner of like state-like organization, right? New Zealand states, regions of New Zealand. There we go. 16 regions for local government purposes. 11 are administered by regional councils, and 5 are administered by unitary authorities, which are territorial authorities that also perform the functions of regional councils. The Chatham Island Council is not a region, but is similar to unitary authority, authorized under its own legislation. Sure. I don't know why I thought there's like 2 of those things. I'm sorry.
New Zealand does also have that thing where their judges wear giant wigs. I think that those are judges.
I think so, yeah. Judges and police officers and shit like that.
Police officers?
Yeah, just like Australia.
The fuck?
Blowing this,
no, I mean, no, they look like average police.
Oh. Why?
I don't know.
Why am I experiencing fucking?
What do you mean Australian police?
Isn't Australian police kind of funny looking? Australian.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Police.
No, they look normal as well.
Officers.
I mean, they got those goofy hats, I guess, but like,
yeah,
it's not that funny.
Okay, this is gonna show up on my stream real soon. I think if it's not already. Look at this. How are they not funny looking? Look at them.
I mean, they're funny looking because they stand in like soldier miniatures from 18th century, but like that is just a uniform.
A video game uniform. I'm sorry. Anyway, polyamory.
And much more complicated than that. And likewise,
yeah, okay, wait, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you just Google New Zealand judges? They have even goofier wigs than the British ones.
Why exactly are we on the topic of police?
New Zealand judges.
Yeah.
Oh. What?
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. They look like.
Also.
What?
They look like Bach.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Fucking.
We're on the topic of the police and judges because they look funny.
There you go, man.
That's so out of nowhere.
There you go.
Beethoven does not look like that.
There you go.
No, Google. No, Bach. It's Bach, bro.
I mean.
Johann Sebastian Bach. No, they don't look the same.
Bach.
They don't look similar.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
You guys can't watch a single video for 5 fucking seconds.
Every person in this voice chat has an accusation like this for every other person in this voice chat.
I feel like all of us should get like collectively tested at some point. Jesus Christ.
We should all
Apparently,
still at shock with Ritalin.
I apparently did, and it tested negative, so.
That whoever, provided those tests is, you should do it again.
Cisgender.
Uredo.
No.
Cisgender.
Don't.
Some of the fun of some of the
Shut the fuck up, Bounty Boy.
responses have been, oh, you're just jealous because you would want to try it. That might be true in some cases, but some people are just cruel, and that is much harder to work with and to rectify.
Rectify.
His theory, just
Nerd culture.
or whatever it is he says, polyamorous folks are nerds, relationship nerds. In the US, at least.
Why does
it's
she
the
wear
domain
a
of nerds.
It's
Star
the
Wars
well-known
shirt
fact that you don't see many
that?
incredibly attractive people in polycules.
And that's a dangerous group to piss off.
Why would she do that?
Piss off, they tell all of them.
They're like a matrix. Nerds,
Why would she do that? That's crazy.
Come after me with their Funko Pops, whatever.
I know when people say, oh, they work at the Ren Fair and oh, they collect Funko Pops and play Dungeons and Dragons. They're often being derogatory, but they're not wrong. I just don't think those are bad things. I love nerds. I'm an ally to nerds. In fact, you could argue I'm a nerd based on the fact that I'm nerds. Which is a genre of nerd, I'd say.
Yeah.
Let's debate that in the comments. But yeah, I respect
Based.
nerd culture. I finally saw the Lord of the Rings.
Definitely on a press group post Big Bang Theory. Yeah.
Exactly.
Very much so.
I get the hype now. And it's not just that nerdy people practice polyamory, but that the work into making polyamory work requires studying. A member of the Boston Polycule featured in the New York Times had this to say. We learned a strategy from the multi-amory podcast called Agile Scrum, which was adapted from business meeting models. We utilized that format. We did that for a year and a half, at least once a month, sometimes 6 to 10 hours of hard poly processing. That gave us great communication tactics. I have no interest in going to grad school for relationships, especially when the other students sound so keen to be best in class. This keenness to study and schedule and have discussion groups goes some way to explaining the moniker sex nerds, which my friends and I began using a few years ago to express our benign derision, and a long way to explaining the temptation to bully them. Nerds have spent the past few decades triumphing in almost every aspect of American popular culture, and it's impossible to make them feel bad about it. It's futile to complain about more superhero movies being made, but the classic tactic of saying that they are doing sex in a weird way remains available, especially when they're so eager to tell you about how they play Catan with their polycule every Wednesday. That's why, in part, why we see otherwise progressive people making fun of polyamorous people. It's also to do with the
I
stuff
got
we've
a
already talked about. I
sudden,
think this aspect
very strong
particularly
urge to
applies
clean
the
my
subset
room.
of people who say,
Go
I don't have a
clean
problem
your
with
room then.
polyamory, but they annoy me. I think they're cringe. Which, to be clear, is a problem. Cringe culture is instinctive. I've participated in cringe culture myself, but yeah, I think people who tease poly folks tease them in part because to them,
Cringe
they're
culture is
dogs.
the
That's why
Epstein
people
Island of culture.
simultaneously hypersexualize them
True.
while finding their sexualness unsexy. Secrets are suddenly made unsecret, and so much is lost in translation and public consumption. No one wants to write a news article that comes from a place of horniness, and with that mentality, the subject becomes a punchline. It's icky when
The
dogs
year's
do it. How dare they
2054,
get more action than me?
someone found
They really
your
do.
old
And for those
tweet
who
where you
practice
call
polyamory
someone cringe.
ethically, well, they
You
earned
will
it.
be
Celebrating
hung
your lover
tomorrow.
while marrying their partner while supporting your
Okay.
lover's lover while they go through it is an example
Assignment
of what
due
Anna
in
calls
today is
living life
public
the hard way.
hanging
Some people like to run marathons. We like to do polyamory, complex relationship stuff. Sarah's favourite activity for the two of us is to do couples therapy, Nick says, smiling.
I know what that means because I watched memes.
It's like for relationship nerds. And to be clear, I'm not saying that polyamorous communities
Hey,
are
babe, wanna
unequivocally
come over and
loving,
watch
accepting,
reels?
and non-discriminatory networks free from petty politics and even discrimination.
Listen.
No, there's important conversations to be had about the whiteness of some poly circles, the relative
Also,
discomfort and
We hang out except the entire time I watch reels.
I thought of him. I thought of him when I saw that, like the meme that I posted. What, yesterday? I think.
Which one?
This is like, people don't say good morning anymore. They just send you reels.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and the tendency
fair.
to exoticize or fetishize non-white women.
That is the kind of world we live in.
Class is also a discriminating
It's a
factor.
great
Even if
world
it's
we live in.
unconsciously, it's kind of
Absolutely
gatekept
perfect,
from working class
flawless.
people, because
Brave
it's
new
harder to
world.
practice. You need free time, disposable income to go on dates, cost of
1984.
sessions.
It's funny that it's called the
Animal
Brave New
Farm.
World. It's funny that it's
Oh,
called the
to
Brave
be
New World.
99 again.
If like everyone's a giant pussy nowadays, how is it a brave new anything?
Polyamorous party can be starkly alienating from working class.
You clearly
non-urban
don't read
individuals,
books, don't
especially
you?
if you're also the only person of colour in the room. This is a genuine problem that needs to be talked about and tackled. I will note that this critique can be used in bad faith, to the extent where critics of polyamory
no.
end up erasing minority groups who are
Not
polyamorous.
in
They
bad
exist,
faith,
but despite
no.
what I believe is a very valid critique of parts of the poly community, especially the parts getting face time with the media, as white, gender normative, and generally well-to-do, I don't think this means that working class poly people don't exist. We do, or that poly is bad for social justice. Just because something requires more privileges to do so successfully doesn't
doesn't mean that it is an unjust activity. The analogy I use for polyamory is healthy living. We all know that eating healthy food is generally a good thing to do, but access to the resources for that lifestyle can be costly and geographically circumscribed. A gym membership can be expensive for someone living paycheck to paycheck. Processed food is cheap and horrible for you, but for someone who is poor, it might be all there is. It's one thing to say, there are poly circles who
Processed food,
fetishize
what
and
is that?
tokenize POC, and that's a huge problem, versus saying polyamory
Like,
is just a fad for white, rich people
food
who
that was
are
made
bored
in a
of system
factory.
boundary projects. That's just insulting.
Food that's made by
Poly-
little Asians.
Polysalama.
Yeah.
And erasure
Can you give me
POC
more
who are
examples than
voices
just
and educators for
polysalama?
polyamory.
Food that's made in a sweatshop.
Cheap
like Pat Black,
tofu.
who is the OD content creator on YouTube and
Cereal.
has been educating the masses for years on lots of topics. not
That's
just
bad
polyamory.
for
There's
you?
also Leanne Yao, who is a Chinese British educator
Stuff that
who provides
that
so
comes
much
in
online
plastic
education on it.
packages.
For the critics who say that polyamory is just a rich white people thing, that's on
Oh,
you for not
told me
looking
that's
for those
bad for
voices.
Yes, Blobby boy. Cereal is bad for you, actually.
Anyways, back to dorks.
Cereal's not like.
It's not a surprise that people who have lived
It hasn't been an inherent part of anything ever. Like, it only became popular when like
whether it's someone who
some corporations started like advertising it at the same time as McDonald's became popular.
Because people often talk about how polyamorous people are like an MLM.
Like the entire point of cereal is that they have so much sugar that they get you hooked on sugar, and like nothing but cereal really satisfies the sugar intake craving that you start like getting when you eat cereal every morning.
What about like
every single day? But if poly folks declare how happy it makes them, they're called pushy.
Peanut butter jelly.
And I just don't think that's fair because a lot of the people
Peanut
doing this
butter
are just trying to combat the
Meat.
stigma of polyamory. So yeah, you may
Meat
be
is
polyamorous
good.
who talks about it a lot, making fun of them for
what
just finding something that makes them
about
happy. Makes you the villain.
I am cringe, but I am free.
conservative.
You mean frozen vegetables?
Yeah.
They're good as well. Yeah, those are vegetables. Vegetables are good for you.
I mean, it kind of depends on how the meat is processed. And if it's
I mean, yeah, it can be 50% plastic. Yeah.
Now is a British educator who I think had
Just kind
a
of
really
depends
great
where you
response to
get your
the whole poly
stuff
folks
from.
are ugly discourse. If you're
Yeah.
a polyamorous person who's online, chances are you've been called ugly regardless of your actual perceived level of attractiveness. Instead of going, here's proof
I
that me
mean,
and my
Yeah, no.
it doesn't depend on who sells it. It depends on who is like raising the animals.
Yeah.
Because the worst that can happen to the meat is like that the animals get their food from some like sketchy place, and you don't really know how to like check that.
If
At the end of the day, we're all gonna die.
If you buy all your food from Mercator, you're gonna die 20 years earlier. Good luck.
consider maybe polyamorous people
I
are
mean,
ugly.
good-
So what?
good for
I'm
the
not saying I believe I'm
environment.
ugly, but also, why would it matter if I was? Do you believe that ugly people don't deserve love? Or that only beautiful people can find and should find it? Does it make you insecure that I found love, especially with multiple people, as an ugly person? In many ways, I feel I am valued more as a person if I know someone isn't with me just because of my external qualities. I believe I am attracted to those who value me, not just for my body, but for my whole self. And that's
They
enough.
should
I
allow
don't prove my
people
hotness
to
people in general. Also, people
live in
hate me at
houses,
first,
not
but
as families, but as
beauty
friend
is
groups.
temporary. If someone loves you for who you are as a whole person,
Real.
It's almost like
Maybe when I open Instagram.
it's almost like you reinvented the concept of roommates. Bro, it's insane.
No, roommates are not picked as friends. They're picked as people who have a certain amount of money and needs.
beauty I know I inherently possess, but
So, how is that different from a classic like roommate situation? Please explain.
No, like you don't have to. Like when you initially pick out roommates, you don't pick them out because they're friends. You, like, I mean, you can, and like most people do, but like that is not the most important thing, you know.
You pick them out based on your living conditions.
No, I'm talking like you don't have to like do any leaps to live in a house with your friends. Like it's the same as families, you know. Like instead of families, you got friend groups in houses.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, but it's like, how is that different from having roommates again?
If your roommates were your friends before they were roommates, then it's not different.
So, yeah, no, I understand. I'm just saying that, like, I feel like people who are, and I don't have any data on hand, I might be very wrong on this, but I feel like people who pick out roommates at random are in the minority here, just because it's not safe I think.
No, like yeah, there's like some criteria to that.
Yeah.
But like
your concept sucks, man.
No, you're just like asking pointless questions that like it seemed like it's like very obvious to me what the answer would be, but when I say it, you're like, like fucking Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna
Give an
explain it.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Example, the three of us and Tristan and Nisa, we all move in a mansion and we live in it.
Okay.
Just like because we're in a friend group.
Yeah.
Now, alternative to that is the one that like actually exists, which is finding a room that is available. And there's a flat with people that she like vibes with, like enough to live in a place with them, and she lives there and like she talks to them whenever it's like whenever they cross paths, whatever. That's it.
But okay, so if I say this, hi, my name is Insideness, and I have a friend, right? And
yeah, Insiders has friends. No.
Yeah, and that friend is Mongolian, right? And then I have another friend.
Okay.
and then I have another friend, and that friend is, I don't know, Chinese, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, but no. See, imagine meeting people from Mongolia. That would like rule. That would be swell, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I know a guy from Mongolia. He's kind of tight, right? But you're like, no. Imagine this, right? You meet a guy from Mongolia, and you vibe with him. That would rule. You'd love it. Okay, but what the fuck? I mean, both of imagine having friends, and then I'm like, yeah, I got two of them. One is Chinese and one's Mongolian. But you're like, no, you're not listening, right? Imagine hanging out with people, right? Imagine that.
I mean, at the end of the day, the aftermath could be the same.
Yeah.
But it's not always the same. You're not always like vibing with your roommates as much as you're vibing with your friends. And what is like the initial situation? Like you start off living in that flat, and then you like either end up or don't end up being friends with the people that live in there.
No. I understand. But yeah, no, sorry, I cut you off for no reason. Go ahead.
Yeah, like the first thing that happens with roommates is that you move in, but the first thing that happens with friends in a house is that you're friends with them, and then you move in a house with them.
Yeah, no, I see your point, but I feel like it's a moot point nonetheless, right? Just because it's like, okay, so
because you're good at getting along with new people.
No, not even that. I'm really not. But the
it's
point,
harder getting along with new people.
Yeah, true. But no, the point is like precisely why your friendships are allowed to flourish in your daily life is because you don't live with those people, right? I mean, not all of them, of course. You can be best friends with someone and best roommates with someone at the same time. Sure, why not? But those examples are way few and far between for you to be making a new concept out of the idea of having roommates that you also were friends with beforehand. Like, yeah, sure, that happens to 1 in 5 men. Great.
All right.
What exactly did we figure out of this conversation?
We figured out that you can take a half-assed joke statement and talk about it for 20 minutes.
That wasn't 20 minutes. I'm gonna.
Yeah, it felt like 2 hours. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna cut this conversation up and post it as a YouTube video titled "Blob, Accphetamine, and Insideness discuss roommates." Heated debate.
You have to have a thumbnail. You have to have a thumbnail with an anime girl half naked.
Yeah. Bridge burned.
Accphetamine says dumb take inside nose attempts to say something dumber.
Yeet, please post this on Twitter. Yeet, do it. Clip the.
Accphetamine went too far.
As a reason. So yes.
You won't believe what Accphetamine said about roommates.
There's always a video which is like there's always a video which is like the situation is getting worse, but there are no videos that are titled the situation is getting better.
Yeah, the Accphetamine roommate situation is wonderful.
That just says a lot about society. I'm just saying.
People for trapping themselves in a system
Accphetamine invents new concepts.
Believe me,
new way of communal living. Roommates reloaded.
Accphetamine says thing. Inside us registers a trademark just to spite them.
And also, it doesn't just apply to your romantic relationships. It applies to your friendships too. Physical is not what makes or breaks relationships. Remember that. So yeah, I wanted to end on that positive note. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to all the sources and polyamorous creators.
Shit, the video's over.
As I'm sure I've established in this video, it's not easy to be openly.
Believe me, I noticed.
Poly online. So putting yourself out there to, represent and educate is really a net good for society. So thank you for that. And thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a like because one like equals one.
I won't let my thoughts. I want to let you know my thoughts out of spite.